Cooled off like they promised us either. It's very warm here at Giant Stadium. But there was a big play. The defense turned it around for the Aggies in the second quarter of play. Christian Rodriguez right between the shoulder blades on the Florida State quarterback. Winky. Jay Brooks picks it up, takes it into the end zone.
Outside linebacker blitz. Rodriguez, number 2. Brooks picks it up, the defensive back. And defense has set the tone for this game.
On both sides of the field, actually. Florida State came in knowing full well their defense would have to help this guy, give him some field position, and they did. They did.
Well, Winky is, you see Winky's numbers, 10 of 21. He was 6 of 9 to begin with, but only 4 of 12 on his last 16 throws, so he's cooled off. And be interesting to see how he comes back out.
That win, number 9. Quite a story, a graduate in agricultural development, and he came alive late in that second quarter as well and was involved in a couple of big plays. Larry Smith, the big defensive tackle for Florida State, had gone to x-rays of his right leg after an injury. We still don't know the extent of that. The kickoff by Janikowski for Florida State to start the second half. And they will bring it out to the 20-yard line where it'll be first down for the Aggies. Now let's take a look at the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats.
You won't like him if you're an offensive type of person. Defensively, you'd like him. Look at the bottom. Both teams have 2 turnovers. A&M converted theirs into 10 points. Florida State, 2 turnovers. They converted one of theirs into 7.
All right, we see Brandon Stewart bring him up with DeAndre Hardiman, the single back for the Aggies. They have played a goodly bit tonight with a double tight end alignment. And they do that, obviously, because they love to run the ball, but there's nothing there. Let's check in with Lynn Swann.
Well, Keith, Bobby Bowden talked about his defense and said what we have to do coming out in the second half is make a big play. He likes the way his team is playing for the most part, but he needs something to change the momentum of this ball game. Larry Smith's x-rays were negative, but he will not be back in the ball game because it's AstroTurf and the high sprain. Slocum said he really loves the way his team is playing, but he wants to apply a little more defensive pressure. Not, however, the kind of pressure that leads his corners on the island, Bob, but the kind that get to the quarterback.
Yep.
All right, Cole goes in motion for the Aggies. The pass is thrown hard, and it is caught. Matt Bumgardner, who had a 1 ball thrown to him in the first half and didn't see it, and it went the other way, but this time he made a tough catch.
Well, you're not going to be wide open very much when you play Florida State. You're going to be tightly covered, and you're going to have to be hit right like this. And this is the way that the Florida State defense plays. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be easy. But it's a first down, and you move the chain. Well, it's third down. But that's the way you pick up first downs on those quick passes.
3rd and 2. Dante Hall going for the first down. And he did not make it. Tommy Polley, who picked up a loose football in the first half, playing that outside linebacker position, nailed him. And he's short of that first down. What is this conference? Is there a flag? Yes, there is. Finally, we see the flag. The officials from Conference USA, R.G. Jetelier, is the referee.
After the play was over, personal foul. Florida State, 15 yards into the run. First down.
Last year, Florida State was the most penalized team by far in the ACC, and most of those penalties came on the defensive side. They are very aggressive and very physical. Number 29, watch Polley.
It's the second guy.
Stevens. Yeah, that's Stevens. Demetrio Stevens, yeah. There came the flag.
Yep. So that's a big play for the Aggies. Puts the ball up at the 45-yard line in the first down.
Like a turnover.
And Stewart trips and falls.
The penalty was like a turnover, Keith, because they were going to have to punt the ball away, and now they keep the football.
Somehow Brandon Stewart looked like he might have gotten his foot tangled up with I don't know. Maybe one of the linemen stepped back on him.
I think he got tripped.
Yep. Somebody stepped on him or.
Watch his feet. Yeah,
one of the linemen.
Like his right guard, maybe.
And so there's a loss on that play from the 45 back to the 38-yard line. The numbers for Brandon Stewart in the first half. Pretty good stuff. Ball is at the 38, so that'll be a 7-yard loss on the play. Get this pass off. Pass is caught by Hodge. And Leroy Hodge from Rosenberg will make the reception up just across the 45. Mario Edwards on the play defensively for the Seminoles.
Seeing Brandon Stewart becoming more and more under composure. I think the more he throws and the more success he has. This is not an easy team to throw against, Keith. You asked the Florida Gators and Steve Spurrier, they have problems with this, but this certainly isn't the type of offense that the Gators have. But Brandon Stewart getting more and more confident.
Ball at 3rd down and 9. Pressure coming, they got him. From the backside, number 40, Tony Bryant.
And maybe he's too confident standing in the pocket. Bryant just comes around the outside.
Reminds you of Boulware and Wilson and Wadsworth and Spires.
Number 40 is a preseason All-American. He didn't get touched. I mean, heck, Keith, you can make that sack. You don't get blocked. I mean, come on.
But he got around there about 10 times quicker than I would. And the punt by Leckler. It's a good one. Back to the 11-yard line goes D. Feaster. Turning back into the pursuit, and they get him up at the 23-yard line for it'll be 1st down for the Seminoles, a 50-yard punt and a 12-yard return. That play for Florida State, Tony Bryant has been laying down on the ground trying to work that right hip a little bit. Looks like he had either bruised it or twisted it or the lower back area, but to the right side. But now
they've gotten kicked back there.
He might have gets up, walk it off maybe. Oh, here come the Seminoles from the 23-yard line. 1st down. Chris Winke's pass right on the numbers to the sidelines. That's good for a 1st down. Peter Warwick making the catch. And the defensive play, he's stopped by Jason Webster out around the 35. So that'll be a 1st down for the Seminoles. 14-10, the Aggies are leading.
Florida State, I feel a little frustrated, Keith. They come out. Aggies just laying off. Webster just playing a deep zone, just saying, all right, you're not going to get by me. Anything in front's all right.
Run it with Minor. 40. About 5 yards.
Florida State is a big play offense. And as we mentioned earlier, Texas A&M does not give up many big plays. Only 2 last year of only over 40 yards.
Warwick is there to the bottom of your picture. Dugans to the top. It's Warwick at midfield, out of bounds. Defending was Jay Brooks, who had a touchdown off that fumble early late in the first half.
Warwick running it out on the other side against Brooks.
Another 1st down midfield. Warwick's caught 5 balls tonight for 70 yards. Shotgun. And Winke's pass intercepted and dropped. Oh my goodness. Royland Bradley hit him right on the numbers. And it must have startled him. Second and 10. Travis Minor with a hard run. We'll go down to the 46. And it'll be 3rd down and 6 now for Florida State. Clock ticking along in the 3rd quarter. The 16th Kickoff Classic from Giant Stadium in Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Very pleasant evening. And Chris Weinke now has called a timeout.
I don't know where he was throwing it, Keith, on that previous play. There was not a receiver in the area except for the linebacker.
Well,
Years ago when Weinke threw that ball, go ahead and run it. Watch your receiver down here on the bottom. He's going to run. Stop it right here. Here is the linebacker right here. There is nobody near him as a receiver. Weinke's going to throw the ball right at him. That would worry me if I were Mark Richt up in the press box and saying there was nobody near him. I mean, you know, somebody had to be there. Not the back, the receiver. On the sideline during that timeout, Weinke had the headphones on talking to Mark up in the press box, probably just trying to give him some confidence and calm him down a little.
Weinke gets his pass away, and it's caught by Peter Warwick. Came back to the ball. Oh, the quarterbacks love that. They underthrow it, and the receiver comes back and picks it up for him.
Down and in, and Warwick with that speed, they're not going to be on him very tightly. They're going to give him some room. Warwick with 5 catches now for 70 yards.
Must have been thinking about something else. He didn't react, did he?
First down and 10. Play it inside with Lamar Glenn getting his first carry of the night. The big fullback, and Dat Wynn makes the tackle, and here's another voice.
Well, Keith, you know, it's not an easy adjustment for a receiver to go from being the second receiver, which Peter Warwick was last year, to the go-to guy. You get a lot more coverage. There's a lot more expected of you. And if you don't perform, well, you know, you're letting your team down quite a bit. But so far in this ball game, Peter Warwick has played up to his abilities, played up to the expectation of the offensive staff. Every time they've gone to him, he's there, and he's been dependable. Keith?
All right, D. Feaster is in the backfield now, Swanee, as they go back to that shotgun, and the pass is hummed and caught at the 15-yard line, this time by Ron Dugan. Well, I'll tell you, the big guy looks pretty solid on this possession, except for that one play.
Yeah, and the guy was lucky to get that one back.
This is a good pass here.
Good pass protection. He stands in there pretty well. Finds the open area. The system is there for this. This scheme is there offensively. It's just you just have to execute it.
It's Travis Minor in the football, and from the 15 down to about the 12. Dat Wynn makes another tackle. Number 9.
This is an interesting early gut check for these Seminoles, Keith. Not many times have they been behind in a football game when they haven't been playing Florida. And first game of the year, and Texas A&M, they go in at halftime, they're down, a new quarterback. It's a good test for them.
Call it second down and 8. On it again. Down to the 10. Minor's at 190 roughly this year. Sophomore.
He's a special talent too, Keith. He can. We haven't seen it yet tonight. He gained 71 yards in the first half, but nothing big time. But he's got that ability to break it.
All right, the crowd's humming on third down and 5. Pass is lofted to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Dugan's at 6'3" with that great leaping ability was paired up against Jason Webster. He has a 5-inch height advantage, and he ran over Webster, and he fell down, and he had no chance.
Keith, look at they're even down here inside the 10-yard line. They're playing off of the receiver. Normally, when you get inside the 10, you come up and bump and run. That's why that play was called, expecting bump and run to throw the fade.
Here's the extra point try now with field goal try with Janikowski. And he hit one from 33 yards early on in the ball game. This one is put down at the 17, 18, and it is a 28-yard try. That is good. So at 6:43 to go in the third quarter, the Seminoles get a field goal and trail down by 1 to Texas A&M. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Just for Men, the leader in men's hair coloring, blends away gray in 5 minutes. Midas, for quality service at your neighborhood Midas today. And National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go. That is Giant Stadium, shining with its new carpet down tonight, and the aerial shots courtesy of the camera in the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach. At the controls tonight, Richard Dick from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Cooler here than down there tonight. High, deep kickoff by Janikowski goes way back, no return. Dante Hall puts a knee down, and this Sunday night on ESPN. The National Football League coverage has Oakland and Kansas City. That's at 8:15 Eastern Time. And then Monday night on ABC television, the defending champion Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. That gets going at 8 o'clock, 7 Central, with Al and Dan and Boomer.
Saw Elway a couple of weeks ago. I think he's fired up and ready to go now that the preseason's over with. Let's get it on when they start firing real bullets.
And first down from the 20-yard line for the Aggies with a man in motion. That's Hodge. And Brandon Stewart, who's played well tonight, gets it off, and it's off the hand of Hodge, and goes incomplete, and there is a penalty flag.
A flag is thrown, sir.
Another first down pass by the Aggies.
Discussing the penalty here and inquiring of Lamont Green as to what he might like to do with it, because it's against the Aggies.
Holding Texas A&M. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
So it is a half the distance to the goal line. That will be first down, and long. I mean, down here looking at that Florida State defense in your face, it's first down and 22, and that's like crossing the county. Ball is just inside the 13-yard line. Better be careful. Stevens is bouncing around. And Stewart says, we're messed up. Rather than blow a play and lose the football, I'm going to call a timeout to get things organized. And here's Swanee.
Well, Keith, you saw Tony Bryant being worked on earlier. He's sitting on the bench. He has back spasms in his lower back. The trainer says he's had them in the past. What they try and do is just stretch him out, put some heat on it, and usually they go away. He can go back in and play. So he is questionable at this point. But more importantly, number 55, Brian Allen, sprained an ankle in the first half. They thought he might be able to come back, but I've just been told that number 55, Brian Allen, is also out for the rest of the ball game. Keith?
All right, some of the boys getting dinged up tonight, aren't they?
Allen's the inside linebacker that also plays where Demetrio Stevens does.
Yep. And,
defensive ends have been pretty good around here, Keith, for a long time. Take a look at some of the boys that have been passed here. Boulware and Wilson had 33 sacks in 96. 97, it was Wadsworth and Spires. That's 3 number 1 draft choices, and Spires was a number 3 draft choice.
They're great salesmen for the football program at the university.
And they had another number 1 draft choice, Derek Alexander.
1994.
94.
He was the first All-American at that position.
Was a number 1 defensive end draft choice. Yep.
All right, now we go with Sir Parker in the backfield. He is the swift one and gets the ball looking for a little daylight. And there isn't any. Just about the line of scrimmage there as the tree fell on him, named David Warren. You know that big old pole from Tyler? I referred there to Earl Campbell a little while ago. I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume that everybody knows that Earl Campbell came from Tyler, Texas, too. And went over there to UT and became an All-American. And
yeah, well, Warren was one of the highly touted recruits that came into this program. He and Reynolds, both true sophomores, defensive end, and they're just backups. They're waiting their turn.
Bobby Bowden's taken 10 great players out of Texas in the 90s. This is Sir Parker. They're just eating him up. He never got back to the line of scrimmage that time. So David Warren and Derek Gibson.
Yep. This Florida State last year, 66% of the offensive plays run against the Seminoles defense went for no yardage or negative yardage. That's just unbelievable. 2/3 of the time, the offense didn't make a yard.
It's 3rd down and 23 now. And at this point of the game, you start to wonder if the fellows up front, the offensive front for A&M, might not be getting a little tired. On a little draw for Dante Hall.
Safe
Nothing
call.
doing.
Yeah.
Safe call. Lamont Green, the weak side linebacker, got the tackle. Now they'll punt it out of the end zone.
Yeah. In this situation, a punt is not a bad play. RC told us yesterday, hey, you know, we're backed up. We're not going to make any dumb mistakes and help them out. And you got to realize that a punt is not a bad play in this situation.
All right, Shane Leckler with his 6th punt of the night, waiting for it. Bad news, Peter Warwick standing right at midfield. He needs to kill it. Oh, he did. He runs him back to the 45, back to the 42. And they almost got him back there, but now he's got Priest. And comes back to the 37-yard line.
That guy is...
Nicky finally got him.
He is electric.
That first man missed him.
If you can make the first guy down miss you, then if you've got some ability, which he does, you can make something happen. Great field position.
The great punt, 52 yards and a 21-yard return. It's Toya Jones that just missed him downfield in the white shirt.
Nice job of blocking the Seminoles, not throwing their bodies, just staying up, standing up, and just staying, walling off everybody.
Now they're in position to take the lead. First down from the Aggie 37. Throw it over the other way. Give it to Warwick. Let him have it 15 times a game. Good things will happen. He's got 8 yards on that play. He's brought down by Warwick Holman.
Well, Keith, Jeff Bowden, during the offseason, he went to visit a number of teams to find different ways to get the ball to Peter Warwick, and the quick screen was one of the methods they came up. This is now the play that Florida State likes to run because they see so much press coverage. But they felt if they're going to play off Peter Warwick today, the quick screen was one of the weapons, one of the ways we can get him the ball and make something happen. Keith?
2nd down and 2. Oh, give it to the big thump. Lamar Glenn. 235-pound fullback. Got a thump there, and he banged it in for the first down.
Fullbacks and the tight ends don't get to see the ball much these days in college football.
Nope. Only at Michigan. They didn't give him the first down. They didn't. Here comes Billy Rhodes. Billy Rhodes is in the ball game. Now this one could turn out to be my hero. He was 2nd string defensive lineman, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, nose guard, had 18 tackles. They give him the football, and he sticks his head in there and rumbles, and he got the first down. So this spring, they needed some blocking at the point of attack because they couldn't put it in the end zone against the Florida Gators last year on 3 occasions and got beat. And so they moved Billy Rhodes to fullback. And he's the backup fullback. He's the short yardage man, but he did so well in making the transition, gave up so much to go play for the sake of the team. He's the offensive captain.
5th-year senior, and the only reason you like him is he's a big ugly.
I like him.
Admit it. He came from where you were, wanted to like those guys, and now he's running the football and blocking.
Penalty flags. And they burn the clock.
Florida State, 5-yard penalty, replay, 3rd down. Correct.
Well,
Replay, 1st down.
they're hurting themselves here. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that happens to you when you don't have all your pegs in the right hole, and you almost never do on the opening game of the season.
Winky has come out in the second half and got it going. 5 of 7, 59 yards.
lose 5 yards on that play and put it back at the 30-yard line.
He got up there and there was 4 seconds left on the clock.
Keith, Bob, I'm watching what's happening on the field. They get the delay of game penalty, but the coaches took so much time getting a play in. By the time they got a play to the huddle, a player with the play to the huddle, there was already 15 seconds on the play clock. Now he's got to call the play. They're breaking the huddle with under 10 seconds coming to the line. The quarterback would have no chance of seeing the defense, making any kind of adjustment, and then getting the snap.
I think the coaches might be a little spoiled, Lenny, because they run the no-huddle offense so much. That gives them more time if they call the play at the huddle. I mean, at the line of scrimmage. If you're in the huddle, you got to get it in quicker.
You're right. And that first time when he had the delay of game penalty, Bob, I think he came out here and he finally saw those cornerbacks up on the receivers. I don't know what play they had called, but that would have been the perfect time for them to send the receiver deep on the fade and try and let the receiver go up for the ball. But he didn't have a play. He gets a delay of game.
Well, after all of that rhetoric, who's at fault?
Well, it's not the quarterback. The coach for taking so long to get it in.
There you go. Blame that one on the staff.
Now, you know, Mark Rick was talking to me about that last year. He says we run the no huddle. We get into a habit of waiting for so long because they're already at the line of scrimmage, and we take longer to call the play.
All right, it's first down and 15. Wakey back, lets it go big to the corner. Warwick is there, and it is short. Peter Warwick goes down. Somebody rolled up the back of his leg. Look out. Cedric Curry falling down with Warwick, rolled up the back of his leg, and I think you may have an ankle problem right here with Peter Warwick. That reminds me of the way that Heward at Washington got hurt last year in the ball game against Nebraska. Remember?
Rolled up, yeah.
Rolled up on his leg.
This ball is poorly underthrown. He needs to get that ball way out to the outside, and he would have had a chance to make a play. He's going to trip right here. Yep.
Right up on that ankle. Ooh, that'll shorten your breath.
That's the third Seminole now that's gone out with an ankle injury. 2 defensive players, Smith and Allen, and now Pete Warwick.
Well, you have an All-American laid on the ground right there.
Yeah.
And I don't know but what Larry Smith might be one too.
Larry Smith definitely is in that category.
Yep.
Pete Warwick. This is the Seminoles are off next week and open. They don't come back until September 12th. So they have 2 weeks to get these guys healthy.
They said they believe that Larry Smith will be back.
Yeah, Warwick's walking pretty well. Hurts, though. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. In recognition of these athletes, Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. They've been doing it for a quarter century. So Warwick leaves, and that brings in Snoop Minnis.
Seminoles are at the line of scrimmage, ready to run a play, and Warwick's not halfway off the field yet. But the Seminoles came in minus Lavernus Coles. He was on a 1-game probation, so they were a little bit thin in the wide receiver spot to begin with.
So the irrepressible Marvin Minnis arrives to exercise opportunity here. It is second down and 15. Little inside handoff to Travis Minor. And he runs it down to about the 23-yard line. Pretty good pickup by Travis. They will now be looking at 3rd and 7. We're in the third quarter of play. Minute 29 to go. 14-13. Texas A&M leads. Got him. Got the first down. Threw a bullet to Marvin Minnis. Way to go, Snoop. I want to go down and put him on the scale. See if he can show me 180 pounds.
There's Snoop right here, Keith. He's just going to go down and run to the inside. The inside receiver will break to the outside. Just a three-man route. And he picks up the first down. A&M, on the other hand, playing a lot of zone, just dropping back. Don't give them anything easy.
On the first down play to the corner, the intended receiver falls down. Jason Webster defending on Minnis. Minnis fell down well before the ball arrived. 20. What about Peter?
Peter Warwick has a ankle sprain, the right ankle sprain, but he's on the sideline. He is getting ready to go back in the ball game. Now keep in mind, they are playing this game on an artificial surface. It's a little harder on those kinds of injuries than if you were playing on natural grass. Keith?
Well, Warwick's going out to the top of the picture now, all by himself as a wideout. And it's second down and 10, and they'll run it to the left side with Minor. And Travis will move it to the 8-yard line. Jay Brooks making the tackle, and we've got a half a minute to go as the clock ticks along here. Probably one more play in this quarter. Boy, the plays are slow coming in. He's still looking for it. In comes Dugans. Out goes Franklin. Whistle stop it here. Why? I don't know. We think we know the reason. It didn't start the 25-second clock. And that would have been at about 33 seconds. 34. All right, they're up now. They'll get the play.
25-second clock still not running. It must be malfunction.
To the end zone. It's caught. Warwick, touchdown. Went around the defender, came back. The ball hit him on the numbers. He caught it and took it in. He beat Webster and Cody on the play. Extra point now from Janikowski.
Well, you don't see many blitzes out of A&M tonight, but when you get them backed up, they're coming. Both inside linebackers are coming. That means man coverage. Out here on the side, he's just going to go down and run into the end zone. Watch as Winky's going to pump to the outside. He wants to throw it up to the top, and then he comes back. Warwick comes back to the ball and gets into the end zone.
And Bob, don't you know that receiver coming back to the football looks like a life preserver to a quarterback in the middle of a stormy sea. He comes back, he gives him a big target. If he doesn't come back, he sits flat in the end zone, and the secondary has a chance. He makes this play by just coming all the way back. Winky's on the ground, but when he gets up, hey, we have a touchdown.
And they have the lead at 20-14.
And he threw a couple of touchdown passes. Threw one touchdown pass actually last year, Winky did, but nothing bigger than this one because this is the first one that really counted. That one last year was in mop-up duty.
Feels pretty good right now as Janikowski hammers it to the corner and beyond the goal line out to the 20. It'll come first down, Texas A&M.
Hey, Lenny, I thought you said Warwick had a sprained ankle.
20-14. Florida State leads. ABC will present college football's fourth quarter after a message and a word from our ABC station. A&M to come back is going to hinge on Tucker, Spikes, McKinney, Imuli, Vincent, and Campbell, the tight end. The offensive front. They have got to step up now to give Brandon Stewart and the back the chance to do something. They do it here, and he pumps it up for Coles, and that time defended very well by Tay Cody. Coles begging his case a little bit, but Cody was all is in his pocket.
Cody started last year as a redshirt freshman, and they don't take him out very often. They rotate a lot of those defensive backs, but Tay Cody is in there most of the time.
Well, he might have fudged a bit there with that right hand early, but the official running with him couldn't see it. Second down and 10.
Another first down A&M deep pass down the sideline.
Something new. We called some folks down in Texas saying, what is he doing? Oh, what a tough run that is by DeAndre Hardiman. That's a first down. 12 yards the hard way by Hardiman.
73 is Spikes on the left side. Watch as he pulls across and blocks on Johnson. 92. There's not a lot of room in there, but he does a nice job keeping his feet, making something out of it.
13 yards is what he's going to get in the book. And it's a first down for the Aggies. 20-14. The Seminoles are leading now in the fourth quarter of play. Sir Parker. Nothing doing. Stevens, Corey Simon, number 53, was out there and messed it up, and then Humphrey came over and did the real damage, taking him down.
Here's Mickey Andrews. He was telling me, I mentioned earlier about that speed on the defense. He said there's smart speed and there's dumb speed. He said you want to have that smart speed. He says the dumb speed just takes you away from the ball carrier faster. I tell you.
Chris Cole at the bottom of the picture. Sir Parker now is out there in the receiving position. Pressure coming, pass is thrown, trying to come back inside. The ball skipped around and caught on the ricochet by Chris Cole. How do you do? Look what I found. He's still short of a first down, however.
That was a wide receiver screen. And Brandon throws this out there without really looking. It bounces off of one of the receivers' back, comes back to him. He's fortunate that that didn't land in the Seminoles on the right hand.
Third down and 4.
Big play here.
Might determine whatever there is of momentum. Pass is incomplete. They had their arms wrapped around him. Lamont Green was all over him. Tony Bryant was climbing his back, and he still managed to get the ball away with some authority. And now they'll have to punt. So the Florida State defense steps up in that series. Now the defense is going to give the offense a chance to.
Yeah, they had Sir
maybe
Parker,
put this one in the box.
Yeah, number 8 there, Keith, trying to block on one of those big defensive linemen.
No chance.
No way.
No chance. That's low. Feaster watches it bounce. And it'll bounce dead at about the 23-yard line. Time remaining in the football game after that 38-yard punt. 12 minutes and 48 seconds.
It's that time again. The sale you've been waiting for is back, and it's bigger than ever. It's the Ford Factory Authorized Clearance.
Much in the second half. Only 21 yards. The Florida State defense getting after it.
20-14 and a chance now to pretty much put this one away if they can get something going. Pass is completed to Marvin Minnis. And Minnis, the young sophomore out of Miami, who has boundless energy, making the catch for the first down at the 37-yard line. I get a sense that the Texas A&M defenders may be getting a little weary. That win has 9 tackles in the ball game.
Winky's kind of getting into a groove here. I think maybe he was led to believe that this might be a little bit easier than it's turning out to be.
That ball is flipped. Literally, wrist flipped to Warwick with something on it, mind you. And Peter makes the catch and a gain of about 4 yards on the play.
I saw Brandon talking to Bernard there, who was talking to the quarterback. He must not have been saying, what are you doing after the ball game? But Brandon came in and says, leave my quarterback alone.
Second down, long 5. He's changing his play, but he better hurry up. Passes away, ready to change to it. Worked. He went back to Minnis. He had Warwick inside and Minnis outside, and Minnis got the ball and got the first down.
I told you, Chris Menke making his first start, 26 years old. These are some of the guys that are younger than him in the National Football League, just to give you a perspective on the age of Chris Winky. I think there's 9 starters in the National Football League that are younger than Winky. They got a lot more experience, but they're younger.
That's Travis Minor running for about 9 yards on the play. Well, not.
Chris spent 6 years in the minor leagues, the Blue Jays minor leagues, trying to hit a curveball. Decided when they wanted to trade it, to move him to a catcher, that wasn't for him. And Bobby Bowden said, hey, if you ever want to come back, when he left in 1990, if you ever want to come back, scholarship will always be there for you.
Second down and 2, call it. And there's your first down with Travis Minor getting it just over the 40-yard line. The NCAA does not have an age limit. The only rule they have relative to that is you've got to complete your eligibility within 5 years of your first class. Well, when he came to Florida State 90, he left school before the classes began.
He went to
that didn't count.
He went to 4 days of practice.
But classes hadn't started.
But he didn't go to any practices. That's correct.
So as a result, he gets his full 5-year when he comes back.
You know, Keith, you and Bob were talking about Chris's age. Danny Cannell was here on the sideline. I asked him if he had talked to Chris Winky. He says, yeah, I talked to him yesterday at the mill, and today I said, did you offer him some advice? He goes, geez, I felt strange. I'm only 24 years old. What am I going to tell him?
He's a very mature kid. I mean, talking with him, and Bowden raves about him. He says the leadership and the maturity. He studies. He's like a coach on the field. Well, all those traits are good, but you still have to go out there in the battle and do it on the field. And that's what he's going through.
Hey, now he's got a carry. Picked up a yard in the first down. He needed about a half a yard, and he got a little more than that. So he's in the rushing stats tonight, too. But the point is, they keep possession of the ball, and they got it going the right way. Bobby
was raving about him the other day, and he was just saying one thing after the other and saying, you know, he's great. He says he does everything right. He says, I don't know what. He says he's the best I've ever had around here. And I just let him think about that for a second. He says, I know I say about that about a lot of guys. Wing pass out to Travis Minor. And they're throwing penalty flags all over the place because he apparently got a face mask. Warwick Coleman. I don't know if he got a face mask or not. The two of them threw it, and I think maybe he had him by the shoulder pad or the back of the helmet. I'm looking right at it, and I don't think I saw a face mask. Maybe I'm wrong. Warwick Coleman is one of the outstanding linebackers on this wrecking crew defense for R.C. Slocum. This is his 26th consecutive start.
We have no flag on the play.
Picking it up. If I could pick it up, I could pick it up.
I didn't think he had the face mask. It just didn't look like it.
Now Bobby wants to know.
So Bobby's on the other side of the field. He couldn't see that play. But he wanted to make sure. Anyhow. There goes Minor. You know what Travis Minor has developed? He's developed that once you get a hold of him, he's got that little surge, and he's going to hit you for another 2 yards before you get him down.
Always going forward.
Yep.
Go back to the last play. Was it face mask or not?
No.
I don't think so. I think the way that helmet came around, he had to have part of the face mask.
You couldn't see it either.
Sure I could. Sure I could. Just knowing the way that helmet. Look the way the helmet comes back. Look at that. The neck and the helmet. See, the official that initially called it on the sideline didn't stay with it long enough. He didn't say, yeah, I'm sure it was. And he was overruled.
Travis again. And Travis Minor shakes him off and belts his way down the sideline for a first down.
He made that look easy, and several other times he starts up the center and then goes around the outside.
He looks pretty good, doesn't he?
This play is designed up the middle, and there's linebackers plugging the holes, and he just has enough speed and quickness to get around the outside. It's 26 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
And a first down on that carry inside the 17-yard line. Here comes a blitz. Winky runs away from it. Pulls it down and fumble. Aggies may have it. They do. Jay Brooks is involved again. Nat Wynn.
It's that win that knocks it out.
Knocks it out. And then here comes Brooks. Dat Wynn. Another big play for the Texas A&M defense.
Dat Wynn had an interception for a touchdown last year. A lot of big plays come out of that number 9.
Almost had one tonight.
Yeah.
Ball is on the 14-yard line.
Things were going awfully good for the Seminoles offense. They moved it down. They had a blitz on. He was outside the pocket. He just didn't hold on to the ball.
Aggies moving around on before the snap. That'll back them up 5. Are they calling contact by Florida State? Aggies are arguing that Florida State was involved in it. Offside, they're going to get the call too. Corey Simon. I saw the movement in the white shirt, but inside Corey Simon had to get into the neutral zone and perhaps even make contact. That's Nat Wynn right there. That is, as we told you, Vietnamese refugee. Remarkable story of courage. Already graduated.
Bright kid, and he enjoyed talking with him.
I really enjoyed that. Yep. Here comes the reverse with Chris Cole, and the Seminoles eat it up. David Warren, number 99, was in the backfield waiting for him.
You know, as quick as the Seminoles are defensively, you would think reverses would work on them. There was 4 guys back over there waiting for that one.
That might have been the trick play of the day, though, because who knows but what Chris Cole's coming around to throw the ball.
Well, you're right.
Brandon Stewart's got the heat, and they get a hold of him just as he throws the ball, and he cannot deliver it. He got the pass away, but with nothing on it, and it's David Warren one more time with a big defensive play.
Warren is a defensive end that's going to be one of the top defensive ends in the country in a couple of years. I mean, he's a baby. From the bottom left, number 99. Oh, you can't block him with the tight end. I mean, that looks good when you draw it up on the board. This little circle blocks this little X, but that little circle is a tight end, and Warren is a defensive end that cannot be blocked by a tight end.
He's 6'5", 240. And about 4'4", 4'5" speed. That pass is incomplete, overthrown. Pass was intended for Matt Bumgardner.
For the Seminole defense, Mickey Andrews, they just came in and they dominated. The reverse, they stuffed it. They almost sacked the quarterback on the second down, and when Brandon rolled out on the third down, there was nobody open.
And it's 4th and 10, and here's the punter. It'll be the 8th punt of the night for Shane Leckler.
There's danger here.
Warwick waiting. That's a good kick. A lot of hang time on it. Oh, there's a penalty flag, and Webster almost got him. But he got away again and runs it a long way back upfield. But let's see about that penalty flag at the 41-yard line. It's got to be on A&M.
Peter Warwick is fearless. He knows this guy has to give him 6 feet, and he didn't give him, so it's a flag. But he breaks that tackle. This guy is dangerous. Great receiver and a very good punt returner.
46-yard punt, good enough with good hang time, but a 32-yard return, so it's a net of only 14, and the Aggies are in trouble.
There's some other big guys on defense, and they've got the strength to strip the football. He is playing extremely well, but the education continues. Keith?
All right, Swanee. Florida State right now, with the football setting down on the Texas Aggies 24-yard line, can put a thing that I like to call a door slammer on the wall here. This is a team that's been in the AP top 4 11 straight seasons, and they've won 10 games over 11 straight seasons. That's remarkable.
That's what you call a dynasty.
That's what the NCAA calls them. There's that little quick kick back to Travis Minor, and Minor's going to pick up a couple of yards on the play. And Winkie threw that ball back pretty stout, but Minor handled it.
Well, you know, the record book, the NCAA record book, calls them a dynasty, although they've only won 1 national championship in those
93
11 years. It's Nebraska over that period has won, well, they've won a championship 3 of the last 4.
Yep.
Sharing the title last year as co-champions.
I think Frank's going to have to have a look at his pass defense.
Well, the same thing happened last year, the first game, though. Remember with Dante Culpepper.
Look at Minor. Oh, he's just like he's walking around on a piece of black ice.
Yeah, you have to
sliding around, finding room.
Black ice?
Yeah.
How's black ice any slipperier than any other?
Well, it is. It's harder.
All right.
Ball's on the 15-yard line, and it's 3rd down about 1.5 yards. Minor has 129 yards.
You still have to tackle him. It's not tag in there.
Third and 1.5 yards. Big job. Lamar Glenn. And Glenn brings it in. It looks like he might have a first down. They've given him the 13-yard line. And they do give him the first down. So they put a touchdown on the board here. The way that defense has taken over control of the line of scrimmage against the Aggie offensive line, and I suspect this one will be over.
Bobby's got to be pleased with his short yardage offense. He's had problems with that in the past.
Last 2 years. Well, he's giving it back to that big old fullback, Glenn. And Glenn, who steps on the field at 2:35, now takes it inside the 10. Bach is rolling along merrily at 6:18. And he picks up 3 yards, 2nd down and 7. Here comes Warwick. Has Glenn leaves.
Got a shoe problem.
He's in a shoe.
See, wide receivers and running backs can slip that thing on, but big heavy fullbacks, they can't slip that thing on there as agilely.
I got to watch my man Billy Rhodes here now. Point of attack. Open for hold. There goes Minor down to the 1-yard line.
All right, replay the fullback.
That win was knocked out of the way by Billy Rhodes. And I'll tell you what, that takes some knocking to get that win out of the way. Watch this.
Watch number 9. He just got wiped out.
Took him down
by the fullback. 43, Billy Rhodes. Now Datwin says, hey, wait a minute, guys. Don't. That's an offensive lineman there. You know, as a defensive lineman the year before. Come on. I mean, he's not a fullback.
Timeout call by Florida State. I tell you what, the fella from Alabama knows what he's doing. Just about. Along with Travis Minor. Let's just listen for the sound. Give it to Billy Rhodes. Stuck his head in there and didn't score. The Aggies stuffed him.
Holdman and Datwin said, wait a minute.
Well, they nailed him, didn't they? He lost the yard on the play.
Well, the thing he did, he's an all. If you just joined us, this Rhodes is an ex-defensive lineman, ex-offensive lineman turned fullback as a blocker. They gave him the ball. It's going to be the last time. He went over and just stopped until he got the ball, and then he ran.
Chris Weinke trying to wedge it in from the quarterback position, and the Aggies hold him. So A&M trying to come up with a goal line stand here in late stages of the ball game and try to keep it alive. It's 20-14. Florida State leads. They got a yard to go. And if they punch it in, it might be doomsday. And the Aggies know it. They'll fight him. Travis Minor. Nothing doing. That win. And Jason Webster. Boy, that kid is really something.
They are quick. They are quick.
Oh, my, what a player. So they're going to settle for 3.
Bottom of your screen, Datwin is number 9. He'll go to the left side. Wynn just gets over there. He says, nobody touches me. Everybody, the lineman kept him off of me. That doesn't work. He is a fine player. No question about that.
Janikowski with a 22-yard field goal try. He's 2 for 2 tonight. And now 3 for 3. So that makes it a 23-14 ball game with 3 minutes and 26 seconds to play. Now, a point that R.C. Slocum made, he said, we have not come back here proposing that we're going to beat Florida State. We are saying to you, we have come back here to take a shot at it. And we're going to do the best we can, and we feel that we have a chance.
He talked about playing in one of these preseason games a couple of years ago against BYU and not playing well, and it really upset their whole season. They went and finished 6-6 a couple of seasons ago, and he didn't want that to happen. So he was kind of preparing his players, I think, if they didn't play well or if they didn't win. As I see it, they've played this game very well, and they can take some confidence away from here. By the way, they played Florida State.
Yeah, played a team a lot of people think is the best in the country going into the season. Certainly no worse than 2. And they played them right to the hilt.
But I don't think we've seen the best out of either one of these teams, Keith.
No.
the defenses were dominant, but could be better, and the offenses were mediocre at times.
Look at that kick by Yamakowski. Oh, you got to go now. You stepped on the goal line. And the return is out by Dante Hall. He came it out about the 19-yard line. The attendance tonight, 59,233. I ain't messing with that one.
I'm going to tune in.
Okay.
Pretty good.
I don't know. A sports night could mean a lot of things. 19-yard line. First down. Penalty flag. Stewart sacked. Back at the 10-yard line. Offsides against Florida State. So that helps the Aggies a bit. You see up there in the right-hand corner, you've got 3:07 to play. You see the score at 23-14, 9-point Florida State lead. And this is going to make it a first down and 5 for Texas A&M. I think Brandon Stewart's played pretty well tonight.
I do too, and I was just thinking about that, Keith. I think he because he went to Tennessee for a little while and was there with Peyton Manning and actually played in the first game 5 years ago, a little bit ahead of Peyton, but he is unfairly been compared to him for the rest of his career.
Another offside by Tony Bryant, but I don't see a flag, and that pass is incomplete.
It seems like anything he does, he's compared to Peyton Manning. He's supposed to be that good. Well, the system at Tennessee and the system that he is in here at A&M are like night and day.
Yep.
There is no way that any quarterback at A&M is going to do what a quarterback at Tennessee does.
I remember that night vividly in the Rose Bowl, Tennessee playing UCLA. Jerry Colquitt had waited 4 years to play. He was in his 5th year. And on the very first series, tore up a knee and his career was gone. And then Todd Helton came in and replaced him. Todd now playing baseball and a very good first baseman.
He could be the rookie of the year.
Could be. And that's Hardiman carrying the ball and getting it up on second down and 6 for about a 3-yard pickup. The third quarterback in the game that night for Tennessee was Brandon Stewart. Right. And he actually played quite well.
And he was a true freshman.
True freshman.
And there was 2 of them at Tennessee, and the other one was Peyton Manning. Yep. And Manning also played that night. But
third down and 1. Out of the shotgun, and there's the flag. And we'll burn the clock. Or Spike's move. I saw somebody wiggling. I think it was Spike.
Prior to the snap. False start.
Yep, false start.
Texas A&M. 5-yard penalty.
Tired at this point of the night.
Third
Been
down.
a warm night.
Yep.
Long trip. All of those elements. And that big defense beating on you all night long. Whew.
Well, talking about Brandon, I think he's done a very good job against one of the toughest defenses in college football. This defense will get after anybody.
Third and 6. The pass is thrown to the sidelines. It is incomplete, and it'll be fourth down. And they'll have to punt it away. I would liken playing against this Florida State defense kind of like having a picnic in a log slide. Boy, I tell you, there isn't any place to go. There isn't any place to go.
Well, last year, this defense knocked 8 quarterbacks out of the game. They played 12 games, and they knocked 8 quarterbacks out. And they knocked 2 of their own out in spring ball. So Brandon has survived it and will learn a lot from it.
Very quiet young man. But certainly with purpose. Ninth punt of the night for Leckler. High hanging kick. Feaster makes a fair catch. It'll be Florida State first down at its own 34, leading by 9, and only 1:49 left to play in the game.
My name is Dennis.
Makers of vehicles that are built to last. Planters Nuts. Relax. Go nuts. Nike. And Chili's grills like no place else. Our thanks to Captain Dick Ash and the entire crew of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes for tonight's overhead shots. Goodyear Blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage. How about due for another ride, I think.
It'll get you a ride, you know, a farewell ride.
I had a ride in that new one early on when it first started flying.
Yeah, how was it?
Up in Ann Arbor. It was fun.
Huh? Did you drive it?
Terrific, yeah. I did with several nervous people.
What's
watching.
it like? What's it like driving a blimp?
Terrifying.
Wow. I mean, you don't make any sharp turns, I know. You don't put your arm out the window and say, here we go.
No turn there. First down from the 34-yard line for Florida State. Frankie going all the way in the ball game. Goes Travis Minor. He's had a big night. Boy, he looks good. 46-yard line, first down for the Seminoles, and A&M's defensive people are tired.
Yeah, but they've played well.
Yes, they have.
They have played well. This defensive crew Dad has been outstanding. He is one of the top linebackers and will be one of the candidates for the Best Linebacker of the Year award at the end of the season, and he should be.
He's also an inspiration.
I asked, exactly. I asked Dad about it. I said, that the way you spell your name in Vietnamese, and you can pronounce it Win. I said, did you just pick a name or pick a pronunciation? He said, no, that's really the pronunciation, the way it's pronounced in Vietnamese. But he said, Win in Vietnam is like a Smith or a Jones over here. There's tons of wins over there.
That last play was Warwick Holman, and he's made a lot of tackles tonight. Holman's been very active, number 43. Just a little over a minute remaining to play in the 16th Kickoff Classic. That win. The numbers for that youngster tonight: 13 tackles and forced a fumble. And win the respect of the opponent, I guarantee you. It is second down and 13. Look at Travis Minor. He squirmed around in there for 3 yards before they finally got him down. The National Football Foundation and the Hall of Fame are the beneficiaries from this ball game. Money is then used for distribution across the country in scholarships. Third down and 12 coming up.
I think sometimes there's too much pressure and too much expectations put on the Florida State quarterback too.
No question.
Chris Winkie. I think everybody thought that he was going to come in here and just knock your socks off because he was 26 years old and he was so mature. But it's proven that he hasn't started a game in 9 years, and although he's practiced with this team for a year now and he knows the system, it's still a little bit different when they're, like I say, firing the real bullets and they're getting out there and you're under fire. So this will go a long way towards his development this year.
Been quite a week for New Jersey. How about Toms River winning the Little League World Championship?
All right.
Way to go, guys.
That was great.
That was terrific. Lakewood won in 1975, the last time a New Jersey team.
Did you ever do a Little League World
Series? I did a lot of them. I'm not sure that I didn't do Lakewood.
Well, you've done everything, Hoss, and you've been everywhere.
I can't remember for sure, but somewhere along in the back of my old head, I rattled around that I was involved in that one. But either me probably or Jim McKay did a lot of them too. Jimmy did them when they were in the White World. Third down and 12. And Minor's going to wiggle around and move it up to about the 45, and it'll be fourth down, and the clock is running. And where's A&M and time's out now? Their shoes and go home. And remember, if you take your pillow with you, you can sleep anywhere.
I meant to ask you.
Travis Minor has carried 34 times for 146 yards and a touchdown. That's a Florida State record for rushing attempts in a ball game.
I meant to ask you, after 46 years with ABC Sports, you're retiring. What have you learned?
That.
Take your pillow with you. You can sleep anywhere.
That's right. Alex Wallow taught me that. Got 3 ticks remaining on the clock. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game then will be that win for Texas A&M, 13 tackles and forced to fumble. For Florida State, Peter Warwick, 159 all-purpose yards, 9 catches, 106 yards and a touchdown, career high, 3 punt returns for 53 yards. A Chevrolet donation made to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for academic achievement. Been going on for a quarter century.
Pair of 9s win the MVP. Yep.
And your final score is Florida State, ranked second in most of the polls, starting the season, 23. Texas A&M, 14. Good football game. Both teams played well, and we thank you for joining us.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, home of college football's Bowl Championship Series.
What?
Quarterback, number 2 Florida State, through Chris Wenke at Texas A&M. He's the guy who's been throwing baseballs as a minor leaguer. At 26, you can call most grad assistants son. With Texas A&M being number 15, we can call this season opener big. Here we go, pictures of it. There's Wenke, but he waited for his defense to make the first big play, and it did. Brandon Stewart fumbling the snap. FSU all over it. Big dog pile, and Florida State recovers on the 38. 3 plays later, it's 3rd and 15. Those plays not pictured. Wenke looking for Ron Dugan's. Found him. He knows him, the teammates. First down. 2nd and goal. They're at the 3. And Travis Minor into the pile and into the end zone, 7-0. Dugan likes what he did. 1st and 10 for the 42. Aggies down 10-0. Brandon Stewart cranks it out for Chris Cole. Chris Saunders was cheating, but it doesn't matter because they could refuse the interference call. DeAndre Hardiman in, and Texas A&M is down 10-7. 1st and 10 to 33. Alex Rodriguez's cousin, he's in on Wenke. Christian Rodriguez causing the fumble, and Jay Brooks scoops it up and scores. Another look at the big hit. Rodriguez, the blind side, making the play. 3rd quarter, Florida State coming back from the 9. Wenke to Peter Warwick. He scoots his way in somehow. 9 yards in the score, and FSU's up and winning it in a comeback, 23-14. The Seminoles still haven't lost a game in August or September this decade. Wenke, 21 of 36. 207 yards, a good start for him, and Travis Minor, 34 carries for $146.
Still to come on the program, who needs training camp? Apparently not Green
High school, but it's not Andy Katzenmoyer. Chris Kirk, Katzenmoyer's high school teammate and the man who was expected to replace the Big Cat had he failed to make the grade, is ineligible himself. Kirk's problem, a snafu in certified course credit hours, which was caused by his changing majors. Junior didn't even know he was in academic trouble and called the news a total shock. Chris Fowler slid by with just enough summer school credits to remain on campus.
Bravo, Jopa, good for you, Coop, or at least kudos to the ADs at Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Syracuse, BYU, and Alabama. It takes guts to schedule a quality opener when dreams can be derailed before Labor Day by a single loss. The magic of Saturday, so many unproven players in the crossfire of a critical opener. Take the blue-chip quarterbacks who came out of high school in '96 along with Tim Couch. They've watched Couch become a star. Rashard Casey paying his dues at Penn State. Ben Laird sitting behind Damian Craig at Auburn. And T. Martin waiting for Peyton. Now it's their turn to either fulfill the hype or fail. Martin inherits the best cast and the largest legacy. Consider that schools which lose a quarterback drafted #1 win, on average, 3 fewer games the next season. The exception, Miami's great '87 team, which lost Vinny, promoted Steve Walsh, and won a national title. So, who's not sold on Ohio State as #1? Number 2, Florida State. Some current and former Seminoles I spoke with at the Kickoff Classic were, say, amused by the Buckeyes' preseason ranking, pointing to the 17-point loss in the Sugar Bowl. Several questioned the Buckeyes' manhood, using anatomical terms you can't say in mixed company. I doubt the Noles are aware of this, but Ohio State would be making history if it wins a national title. OSU finished last year 12th. No team jumping that highly from a postseason ranking up into the preseason top 5 has ever lived up to that ranking. It's never happened. Last year's examples, Penn State and Washington.
With his 61st home run of the year. The Cardinals have just taken a 3-2 lead here in the 8th. Ball 1 from Hudak. These two faced one another here yesterday, and Hudak struck out McGuire. High heat, 1-1.
Struck out Mark McGuire with that same pitch, a letter-high fastball.
The 1-1 pitch. Back up, and the count now 1-2.
I think we're seeing a pattern develop here. John Hudak apparently has found the hole in McGuire's swing up above the top of the strike zone.
Too far up, 2-2.
He's up there one more time. One more rung.
A leadoff triple by DeShields, a sac fly by Jordan. Everybody relieved as the Reds had no legitimate opportunity to intentionally pass McGuire, and we await the 2-2 pitch from Hudak. Up the middle, diving stop by Boone, and the flip to first for the out. That's the second baseman on the other side of the second base bag who made the dive to his left to take a hit away from McGuire.
What a remarkable play that was by a remarkable defensive second baseman. This ball almost drags him into shallow center field. It's hit so hard. Terrific play by Brett Boone. Ball had a lot of topspin. Mark McGuire with that uppercut swing when he hits the top part of the ball. It's like
history, period.
First pitch, rocket deep toward left. He did it! He did it! He did it! He did it!
Mark McGuire's moment resounds beyond baseball. At 62 and counting, he enters a new athletic frontier. One of sport's many beauties is that a simple number connotes the majesty of achievement. 62. It takes its place with 359.4. Sir Roger Bannister running the first sub-4-minute mile. 29 2.5. Bob Beeman breaking a record by nearly 2 feet. His mark stood for nearly a quarter century. 100, a total as big as Wilt Chamberlain's persona and place in history.
2-1 pitch from Shaw into left center. There it is. Rose has eclipsed Cobb. That's number 4,192.
31 lengths.
Secretariat is widening now. He is moving like a tremendous machine.
802.
McSorley to Gretzky. He did it! He did it!
And 715.
There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron.
The anticipation had become a national fixation. When O.J. Simpson recorded the first 2,000-yard season, when Sweetness Walter Payton surpassed the singular Jim Brown, when Bill Walton achieved near perfection against Memphis State, these were the deeds of giants of their time. McGuire's moment will also keep company with the unlikely, the products of chance and fate.
Here's strike ball one. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Morrison.
A so-called imperfect man reaching World Series perfection. The wonder of North Carolina State's title at the buzzer. The 69 Miracle Mets erasing their history as lovable losers. A desperate heave from Doug Flutie.
Brooks. Uncorks a deep one for the end zone. Phelan is down there.
Oh, he got it!
Did he get it?
He got it!
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
And the bizarre carom of the Immaculate Reception. McGuire's quest ranged beyond breathtaking long ball. He and Sammy Sosa embraced their role of rekindling America's love for baseball. So their home run chase ranks with Alan Amici's overtime touchdown and the mesmerizing hardship of the Ice Bowl, lifting pro football to prominence. Just as Joe Namath's guaranteed victory legitimized the AFL, and the catch by Dwight Clark lit the candle on the sport's greatest dynasty. 62 then awakened a sport and guaranteed immortality. That's what Tiger did over his magical 4 days at the Masters. This image and the way America has warmed to it takes its place in a century of revolutionary ingenuity, stark challenges, and stirring courage, with figures who dreamed and lived those dreams and nightmares, and those who persevered. The beauty of sports is in its numbers, but also the meaning it brings beyond the playing field. How a boxer represented the pride of his people, another the dignity of free thought. How athletes symbolized the rage of a time, and a second baseman changed the nation. How a basketball game captured the frustrations of the Cold War, and a hockey game the national pride of the same. 62 may not have a global context, but it will live forever. It has resounded beyond baseball, and it's made us all feel pretty good.
Bob Lee, thank you as always. Your insight greatly appreciated. Rich and I